delicate young man was trapped in a massive iron cage. He wore loose white clothing that exposed his arms and legs, curled up in the corner of the cage, looking in terrible condition. Sensing someone watching him, he lifted his head in confusion. When he saw Maria, he almost immediately sensed the thick bloodline power emanating from her. Maria frowned with disgust and said, "That frail-looking guy. I can't sense any orcish power from him at all. He's hiding his power," I said with a smile. "Go take a closer look." Maria rolled her eyes at me, then impatiently stepped on the only small patch of clean ground and walked over. Seeing Maria approach, John's face lit up with joy. He stared at Maria without blinking, his eyes filled with longing and submission. It turned out John had taken a liking to Maria the moment he laid eyes on her. I was truly blind in my past life. I couldn't even see something so obvious. When Maria reached the cage door, John immediately and eagerly released his orcish power, wanting to prove his usefulness. The fluctuation of this orcish power was identical to when he slapped me in the artificial forest in his previous life. Maria's previously cold face broke into a delighted smile. She thought to herself, "I finally found the last qualified sacrifice." Watching the two of them, I sneered inwardly. After making eye contact with me, John immediately shrank back and quietly touched his finger. So he had been reborn too. In the past, when he pretended to be nervous and scared in front of me, this was exactly his reaction. As for touching his finger, I had given him a very rare dimensional storage ring back then. He developed this habit ever since. I took a symbolic walk around the orcish bazaar. In this life, I had no intention of choosing an orc again. The lesson of betrayal from my past life was more than enough. I walked to the end of the orcish bazaar and turned back. Just then, a pair of bloody hands grabbed my pant leg. I looked down to see who it was. I found a male orc whose entire body was severely beaten and wounded. He was well built, his back covered with crisscrossing wood marks, and even one of the dog ears on his head was missing a small piece. Another man pretending to be pitiful to gain sympathy. This time, I wouldn't fall for it again. I yanked my pant leg free and said, "Sorry, I don't keep orcs." The male orc looked up at me, his eyes filled with the desperate desire to survive. He said, "I can form a death pact with you." I stopped in my tracks and stared straight at him, somewhat shocked. In my 20 years of life, I had never seen an orc voluntarily request a death pact. Most orcs were forced into death pacts. Some would even choose to self-destruct on the spot rather than form one, because death pacts were particularly disadvantageous to orcs. Whatever the master commanded, the orc had to do, including degrading and even dying. Fine, I heard myself answer. The price for buying this canine orc wasn't expensive, it was even less than John's price. The male orc immediately grabbed my hand and transferred all his orcish power to me. Then my mind received his request to form a death pact. I agreed to the request. After completing this process, the already weak male orc looked even more frail. His forehead was covered in sweat. The white ears on his head drooped backward, slightly downcast. Then he said, "My name is Leo Perez. You can call me by this name, or give me a new one." After forming the death pact, Leo and I could communicate telepathically. That modest but obedient orcish power flowed through my body, merging with my inner energy. My mood suddenly improved dramatically. I smiled and said, "You don't need a new name. Your original name is perfect. Let's go home." Leo froze for a moment, then ran back toward the cage that had held him. Soon, he returned carrying an iron chain as thick as a wrist, trying to hand it to me. He said, "Dog chain." Looking at the bloodstains on the chain, I frowned and said, "Not necessary." I suddenly thought of something and asked him, "How long have you been here?" "I've experienced 15 openings of the orcish bazaar," Leo said, his ears drooping even lower. 15 times. The orcish bazaar opened once every 2 months. That meant Leo had been here for over 2.5 years. No wonder he always spoke so slowly when talking to people. As I prepared to leave with Leo, John shifted his gaze from Maria to me for the first time. A strange light flashed in his eyes, and his delicate face twisted momentarily. But by the time I looked over, he had already returned to his usual appearance. Maria mocked me, saying, "Look at you. Even if you need an orc, you can't be this careless. This orc looks like he's about to die. How about I give you one of the orcs nobody else wants?" Hearing Maria say this, Leo's previously listless expression immediately perked up. He bared his sharp canine teeth at Maria. Maria said disdainfully, "You're quite protective of your master." I didn't get angry at Maria's words. My expression remained calm. I said, "I only need loyalty from an orc. After all, I'm not like certain people who can only survive by relying on orcs. Without them, they are nothing." My words provoked reactions from both of them. John's face instantly turned pale, while Maria looked at me with eyes full of jealousy and resentment.